Now let's move on to Spain as Luis de la Fuente will take charge of his first match as Spanish national team manager in a Euro 2024 qualifier against Norway on Saturday, March 25th. In front of a home crowd in Malaga's La Rosaleda Stadium, De La Fuente replaced Luis Enrique after La Roja suffered a disappointing World Cup exit in the round of 16 to the tournament's surprise package, Morocco. The 61-year-old was very much the continuity replacement for Enrique, having seen success previously with Spain's underage teams, notably guiding the under-19 national team to a European Championship in 2015 before winning the equivalent tournament with the under-21s in 2019. Norway will be without star man Erling Haaland, who was forced to pull out through injury. I always say when a manager, no matter how inexperienced he is, takes over a team with as much quality as Spain. I'm talking about Pep Guardiola at Barcelona. I'm talking about Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid. A failure to succeed is a great failure indeed. And even with his record of mostly coaching lower team academy, basically academy under 20, under 19 teams, I feel like he has to do well in this job, right? Especially against, especially with his first match being against Norway.
Of course, he has no choice. Like I said for Julian Nagelsmann, he also has a rich CV. Talking about Luis de la Fuente, he's won with the under 15, the Euros in 2015, under 19. Sorry, the Euros in 2015. He won with the under 21, the Euros in 2019. That was in Italy. He also won with the Olympic team and got silver. Sorry, with the Olympic team. I'm talking about the 2020 games in Japan. So he's not a newbie when it comes to the Spanish national teams. Talking about age grade football. Now it's time to replicate that in the senior national team. Can he do that? The 61-year-old
with his experience working with a lot of these players from such a young age, his understanding, his style, his philosophy of how to play the game surely must translate much easier than it would be for an outsider manager coming in. Surely.
Of course. And he has young players in the national team to work with. The core of the midfield these days is Gavi and Pedri, who find themselves in Barcelona, and they're also the core of the national team. He has players up front like Morata, Ferran Torres, who plays for Barcelona, Busquets, who plays for Barcelona as well. A lot of players who play for Barcelona, like, that nostalgia of...
So that's an advantage for him. A lot of his players have played with each other for so long. Both at club level and national level.
That bond is needed. Even Eric Garcia, who plays for Barcelona, is also in the national team. But one thing he needs to understand is it's not just about gathering young players. It's about utilizing their abilities in the position they play. We see Gavi, sometimes for Barcelona, he plays as a winger. Sometimes he plays as a central midfielder. Pedri holds back the play while Frankie de Jong, of Dutch nationality, does the job of the deep playmaker. So he needs to understand which position suits which player. Alvaro Morata is a centre forward. Hope he won't pair him with... I don't think Alvaro Morata plays well with a double striker. I think he plays well like a point man alongside players like Ferran Torres and probably Nico Williams, who would be running with him. So he needs to understand how best to utilize these players to bring the best out of them. 16 appearances, there's only won the World Cup once. That needs to change. The Euros, they've tried, but they need to win more.
It's been such a long time since Spain did anything really groundbreaking at any of these major tournaments. And it seems like the hierarchy within the federation has decided to double down on their understanding and philosophy that they want the national team to play. But going for a manager who has historically managed under 21, under 19 teams, is it like, it feels to me, I don't know what you think of it, but it feels like perhaps they don't have any more options. They can only go further into their roster of homegrown managers with homegrown ideas And they are, if he's unable to bring success to this team, might this federation, might the Spanish Federation finally consider an alternative perspective to management and head and coaching their squad for success in the future? Brazil seem to be considering Ancelotti, an Italian with plenty of success. If this manager doesn't do the job at 61, might it be time for an outside view, an outsider's view, to take over at the national level?
I think when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Because if you ask me if they had a reason why they got him, we already answered that question. He won with these age grade groups. And he knows the formation and the system that worked at the under-19 level and got victory in the Euros, that worked at the under-21 level and got victory in the Euros in 2019, and also worked for the Dream Team that got silver in the 2020 championship in Japan, talking about the Summer Olympics. So there is a system that has worked through those age grades with different age groups. And now he's trying to replicate that to the senior national team. It's one of the things we cry for in Nigeria, continuation. When we see players in the under-17, in the under-21, and in the Dream Team, the continuation and the understanding of that formation. That is what Spain wants to replicate, and they've just done the best. There is someone who physically and literally has gone through this rank.
Well, Pep Guardiola is still an option for future appointments, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, it does seem like they have gone for the very last option you would go for if you feel like you just have to go back to the drawing board and go for someone who knows the very root of the philosophy you want to impart on the players. Thank you so much, Gbenga, for joining us on the show. It's been a pleasure having you discuss some of these stories.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure talking sports, and thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk soon.